let's get some cartoons and vodka and do them all night long. Are you ready for some fun? Drink 'em down, drink 'em down, drink 'em down. Drink 'em down, drink 'em down, drink 'em down. Oh.
Happy Mangaween! So, last year I spotlighted a gothic horror comedy because Halloween's not really about being scared, it's about having fun with the spooks. If haunted houses weren't fun, we wouldn't pay money to go inside of them. This year's manga, Dorohedoro, is just a wholly unique animal with an art style best described as horror punk. And we immediately dive headfirst into the good stuff. Just get right in there! Lizard Man is chomping down on this wizard while the wizard's partner is restrained by Tina Hawk. He shakes free for a second and tries to rescue his friend with a blast of magic smoke, but WTF, mate, Lizard Man isn't even phased! Meanwhile, the mage getting exfoliated is confronted by a man inside Lizard Boy's mouth who proclaims him to be not the one. So Lizard Man slices him up good, but just before his death he casts one final spell that forms a door under his friend, allowing him to escape a similar fate. Now that's a cold open. I'm gonna have to stop and actually explain the setting for this world because it is fascinating. Okay, so there are two separate worlds, the world of magic users and the world of humans called Hole. Mages invade Hole through magic doors and, using their magic smoke, torment the humans for fun and magic practice. As a result, Hole is heavily polluted by magic, with lots of people sporting transformed body parts, toxic rain, and a yearly raising of the dead from polluted soils. Mage's world has all kinds of crazy stuff, like literal devils, people getting around on Honda brand broomsticks, and a criminal empire that rules the land headed by a mushroom wizard named N. The world of Hole is in some ways comparable to our familiar world, skateboards, gyoza, cars, and it's not full dystopia because money and trade clearly exist. But it's also a world where any sort of ruling government does not exist because no form of defense can be reasonably constructed against the random terrorism of the mages. And while most of this world building is way later in the story, the Mage Society is fully featured with religious beliefs, a loose caste system based on magic power. There's even a resistance group fighting against the powerful mage hegemony. Now, while there are definite shades of class struggle and exploitation, I'm going to caution anyone from going down that particular line of thought. See, class struggle analysis gets really dicey when the two groups are legitimately different species and one is objectively more powerful. So let's just have fun with our gyoza-loving lizard boy, okay? Our scaly friend is named Cayman. He's been friends with Nikaido since she found him wandering in an alley wearing a body bag. He is a big, lovable oaf of a guy, loves his gyoza, and is tired of stabbing his pillow after nightmares, so he's looking for some way to uncurse his head. Him and Nikaido hunt down wizards and give them the face treatment, aided by Cayman's magic immunity and the fact that most wizards neglect developing actual combat skills and rely on their magic. You may have noticed the art style for this manga, and yeah, it is scrumptious. The pencil work and detail in this manga is frankly astonishing. It's layered in scritches and scuffs that give the world a tactile, lived-in feel, and the designs are just fantastic, from the expressions on Cayman's face to the clothing designs that I would best describe as jumpsuit chic. All of Hole has this depressing, you live under an overpass vibe that totally captures its near dystopic level of chaos. Meanwhile, Mage World seems to take place in a black void with elaborate and confusing building interiors being the main locations. Which I guess is appropriate since I think they live in literal hell. I don't normally say this in the video, but you really want to go out and buy the original manga books for this because the digital scans I'm using just do not do this sort of layered and delicate pencil work justice. The manga also spends a lot of time with the mages. After saying a prayer for his lost friend, Fujita visits the family boss N. N tells him, "Don't you dare besmirch our good wizard name by trying to use guns to kill the magic-proof lizard man. I'm sending in my best fixers while you track down whoever gave him the lizard head." Fujita's Google search brings up lizard specialist Ebisu,
who's had the bad luck of just bumping into Cayman. Fujita manages to grab her, but not before her face gets ripped off. She will spend the rest of the manga getting kicked around, killed, and turned into a zombie for comic relief. Now the fixers sent by En are healing specialist Noi and the hammer-wielding Shin, and just... oh, this design is so good. Look at how he glares out from under the fantastic mask. You could probably get the Wachowskis or Tarantino to make a movie out of this just by showing them this character. Shin's specialty is separation magic that can pull a person's head and spine out of their body, but leave the individual parts still alive. Noi and Shin track down Cayman during the Night of the Living Dead festival, when the priests don track shoes and backpacks of purifying salt. There's even prizes for most heads taken. Cayman goes in a bit too sure of himself on Shin, and though he manages to get his jaws around him, takes a hammer to the brain and his head gets ripped off. Nikaido has to reveal her magic smoke to make an escape door. But don't worry, Cayman's fine, he just grows a new head.
Nikaido ends up having a pretty sad and tragic backstory, but what I love about this manga is how much that doesn't matter to Cayman at all. He is still all in on their friendship. Yeah.
He doesn't even believe people when they tell him she's a mage, and later when he does find out for himself, he does not care. Cayman just loves his friend and will kill anyone who gets between him and his favorite gyoza chef. And the mages have a similar fun dynamic. Noi and Shin have a dorky chemistry not unlike Jules and Vincent. Fujita is hilariously out of his depth and constantly having to watch over the eternally mangled Ebisu. Dorohedoro is the kinda goofy fun time manga that makes room for a baseball game arc.
It's gory and brutal and maybe a tad bit bloated, but gosh dang it, Dorohedoro is just so much fun.
It's the kinda character-heavy comedic story that never loses its grungy, bloody edge. It most reminds me of Dead Alive or Evil Dead 2, but stretched out for a nice, comfortably long manga instead of a punchy movie. I've purposefully not covered much of the plot because 1, it's not amazing, and 2, you just need to read this one for yourself.
Q Hashida is a goddamn wizard with a pencil, and she gave us something just delightfully gruesome to enjoy. Unless you're poor, you don't really have an excuse to not at least try this one out. I hope you have a delightfully spooky Halloween. See you next year.
That was a hell of a game. A hell of a game.
Gave up 10 runs.
They're Vulcans. If they were humans, you'd have held them to just 2 or 3.